The Arcturians. Channeled through Marilyn Raphael. September 6, 2015. The Arcturians.
Greetings dear ones, we are happy to meet once again. The channel needed a break as she too is evolving and growing into the new energies all are experiencing at this time. Much continues to happen on all levels as more and more awaken out of the dream. Many of those awakening do not yet understand what is happening but instead see inner change simply as changing their minds or having a new opinion about some issue. In actuality it is an expansion of consciousness allowing them to move beyond many old fear-based beliefs. Rejoice my friends, for you are emerging out of the dense cocoon of ignorance and becoming butterflies of awareness even if you do not think you are. There are many serious spiritual seekers who continue to hold concepts about what spirituality and ascension must look like. Most of these ideas come from books with stories and information about the experiences of others' experiences that were often not fully understood and were thus interpreted and presented to others through the eyes of third-dimensional consciousness and religious beliefs. No one person's evolutionary experience will be exactly like another's. Every one of you has lived many lifetimes of differing experiences and are here now with lessons to be learned that are personal to you. Each person's experiences will be different depending upon what is needed for in order to move beyond the old energy and into the real. Often those looked upon as failures according to world thinking are actually accomplishing tremendous spiritual growth through their chosen experience. We observe you all moving into a deeper understanding and awareness of what love really is, and how to live it. False concepts of love within human consciousness have throughout the ages resulted in a great deal of suffering and limitation for many. This continues as children who are free of concepts limiting their expression of love are taught not to love certain people or in certain ways. Love has been believed to be an emotion causing many to believe they were incapable of loving unconditionally because they didn't feel an emotion. You are evolving. And love is beginning to be understood as the realization and activity that flows from a consciousness of oneness, a recognition of the innate divinity of every soul and every living thing regardless of outer appearances. This attained state of consciousness recognizes that all living things are to be respected and honored, for there is not nor can there ever be anything outside of one omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient divine consciousness. Man is not superior to other living things as so many falsely believe. When this is understood and embraced by the majority, the world will think nothing of having conversation with trees, plants, nature spirits, and animals as many of you are already doing. Hold the energy of love regardless of what takes place throughout your day. This is the practice. Do not engage on the level of lower resonating energies but instead as best you can. Meet every situation from a place of light. It often happens that the act of being quiet and doing nothing in the face of some adversity is not the spiritual solution it is believed to be, but is instead an escape reflecting an acceptance of the lower dimensional energy as a power. When in question, ask yourselves, what am I believing that is causing me to act or think this way? Face your bullies, which may simply be someone spouting his or her nonsense at you, from a place of light. You may be guided to simply be silent, but this silence will be different. Am I hiding from and thus giving power to something? Or am I resting the light of truth and seeing through appearances? You may be guided simply to give a smile, or a thank you for your opinion. Or even to respond firmly with words the person will understand according to their state of consciousness. Lower resonating energies cannot enter into the higher. Keep your energy field filled with light and truth as you go about your day, allowing others the freedom to live according to their attained state of consciousness. This does not mean you are to stay in an abusive relationship of any kind. We wish to speak of love as an energy, which is why it is so important for individuals to love themselves as well as others. Love in its purest form resonates on a very high level. It is pure light. When a person does not love or honor themselves, they block the flow and integration of this energy. You cannot leave yourselves out of the picture if you are to learn and experience love, which is the foundation of all that exists. Remember, there is only one expressing itself in infinite form and variety, and therefore you could never be left out. Many have been falsely taught that it is spiritual to denigrate the self. It is not. This belief is an insult to the divine, your true nature. Love, the energy of one, is infinitely present and flowing within itself. Everything you see, hear, taste, touch, and smell is itself but interpreted according to the state of consciousness of the individual. Nothing or no one can ever be separate from itself. The high resonance of love appears to heal, change, and lift those receptive, but what really happens is that illusory appearances dissolve, revealing the real. This is how the Master known as Jesus healed. His consciousness, which knew and recognized only divine perfection, served to lift the consciousness of those receptive into it. The world called it healing, but it was a revealing. Jesus was a way shower, trying to teach the world that these gifts were not his alone, as many still believe, but are natural once the state of consciousness has been attained, not just intellectually understood. As an individual practices knowing truth with every situation, it gradually becomes his state of consciousness and begins to manifest in everyday living. Many make the mistake of believing that once they have the intellectual awareness of a truth, it will function in their life. Example, throwing away needed medicine while shouting, "Since I am divine, I no longer need this," and then collapsing. Spiritual evolution is the gradual attaining of a consciousness of truth, leading to a point at which the medicine indeed can be thrown away. This cannot be accomplished in one lifetime. You are nearing the end of your three-dimensional lessons and are ready to move into a new and higher energy. You did the work, struggled, and are graduating. Know this regardless of any outer appearances. You would not be reading or resonating with these messages if this were not true. The high resonating energy of true and real love flowing from the consciousness of so many at this time is lifting the world into ascension. Each person who attains a consciousness of unconditional love, adds more light to universal world consciousness. Nothing is holding pictures of duality and separation in place but the energy of belief in them. Much will begin to disappear or evolve into higher forms as more and more people awaken. War, violence, and struggle will never lift the world into peace. These activities can only manifest more of the same because of the energy being poured into them. You are creators, do not forget that. You have the power to change anything you want, but the higher forms of anything can only manifest as there is the consciousness, substance of form, necessary to manifest those higher forms. At this important time the world and all who are receptive are receiving powerful help from evolved beings of light, angels, archangels, and evolved planetary beings. Many new and higher energies are flowing to assist with the ascension. Try not to fear the future or try and figure out exactly how everything needs to unfold, for there is a bigger picture here than what the human mind can comprehend. Simply live each moment of each day without expectation of how it should unfold in order to be right. More often than not, when things do not go as you expect, there is an important lesson being learned. You are not where you are by accident, you chose to be here and are on your path whether it seems that way or not. It is time to move into trust. Trust that in reality, you are a divine being having three-dimensional experiences to learn and grow. Trust that there are guides and beings of light guiding you. Trust your intuition at all times, even with the most mundane experiences of everyday living. Trust that every experience you have is helping you awaken to whatever false concepts and beliefs you may still hold. You knew that it would be difficult living in lower energies when you chose to incarnate at this time, yet you did it anyway, knowing these times would offer opportunities like no other. There were and are many still hoping to be on Earth at this time. Give gratitude that you are here regardless of whatever difficulties you may be experiencing, for it is a blessed privilege. Trust, relax, and most importantly, love. We are the Arcturian group.